This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. 98FM.
Now, before we read some of your messages and take some of your calls on that, I want to just move to something a little bit more serious for a second. One of our listeners by the name of Sarah has gotten in contact with us about a horrible experience that she thinks we need to highlight on 98FM's Dublin Talks. Sarah, welcome to the programme. Tell me what happened to you yesterday evening.
Okay, well, what happened was I'm a carer. I work over the north side of the city, but I live on the south side. So I was on my way home last night. I finished work up about 8:30, and I was on the Luas. I got it at Abbey Street, and these kids got on at Jervis Street. So everybody was just sitting down, and like I was just looking out the window, but then next of all, these kids got on, and they were like sat right beside me. So they like immediately started like shouting and screaming at people, and throwing sweets and stuff like that at people. Like these sweets were hard, like they were like little white sweets, like, and they actually hurt because one hit off the window and actually hit out my face. So this woman behind me, this elderly lady, she actually got up and said to them, "No, you have to be quiet. This is the Luas." And they just literally start giving people grief and aggro. And then this other man got up, and like this guy was like a black man, so the kids automatically started like calling him Mohammed, and like telling him to shut up and sit down. And they all actually got up and they surrounded him, and they were like calling him the N-word, like, and it was absolutely horrible. Like, people were like getting off the Luas and like at different stops, like, and another man had to come up the Luas and try and tell them like, you can't do that to someone, you can't surround somebody like that. But it was absolutely horrible, and like that's my main, like, like that's, I get on the Luas and that's my transportation over to the north side, like, and sometimes you feel like you're not safe,
And how many of them was there?
There was about, they couldn't have been any more than 15 years old, honestly. And there was about six of them on the Luas. And
they got on, they immediately started intimidating grown adults, basically.
Immediately, like straight away, started like shouting. They were like kicking their legs at each other while they were sitting down on the seat. And then this other man like had to try and hold one of their legs because they were kicking him also. It was horrible.
And you were on the Luas. Did they stay on the Luas after you got off, or did they get off before you? And if so, where did they get off?
I got on the Luas at Abbey Street. I got off at Connolly Station from the 27, and I got on at Abbey Street. And they got on the Jervis stop, and they didn't get off until Shore Road. Okay,
but they did get off at Shore Road?
They did get off at Shore Road, yeah.
Okay, so this is a group of 15-year-olds roughly. There was 6 of them. This was 8:30 last night. And I take it then there was no security on the Luas?
No, there is none whatsoever. Like, I think if you have a problem, there's a number on the Luas that you can text, and you tell them to stop on the Luas, like that the Tala or Sagard one that you're on, and they put security on then on the next stop. But like, security wasn't there, like, and you can, like, if you look back at the camera...
And just, sorry, do you know if anybody did text?
I don't think anybody did text, because there was no security from the time that they got on to the time that they got off.
And what would you like to see being done? Obviously, this is your daily commute. Nobody should have to put up with crap like that. What would you like to see being done in order to stop that? Do you want security on all Luases at all times? Yeah,
like, it would be like great to see security on like Luas all the time. Like, not just random stops where they get on, check, and then get off. I think that the kids should be like banned off the Luas at a certain time at night, because like, who lets their 15-year-olds? Well, I don't know if they're 15, but who lets kids ramble from town like that? And like, it's horrible.
Okay, but it is the summer holidays. Not all kids behave like that. You can't realistically ban teenagers from the Luas, can you?
No, well, like I know it's the summer holidays, and like, all kids aren't like that. I do agree, but I do think that there should be like a certain time where, kids can get on the Luas at night time, and like, if they're with an appropriate adult, sure, why not? Like, but other than that, like, if they're unsupervised and they're going to go on like that, like, I think they should be banned off the Luas.
Okay, so you'd like to see some sort of, I don't know, a curfew maybe for unaccompanied teenagers on the Luas?
Yeah, or if not, like, more security, like constant security on the Luas, no matter what.
Now, this, as I said, is your daily commute. Have you ever seen any behaviour like this before?
All the time. Like, there's been times where I had to get off the Luas because I was like, oh my God, like, something's going to happen here and I'm going to get hurt. Like, it happens all the time. There's always kids on the Luas. They're shouting at each other up and down the Luas or running around, swinging out of the poles, stuff like that. Like, it's horrible. It's so intimidating.
All right, well, we're going to find out if our listeners have had similar experiences and what they think can be done to prevent it. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. In the meantime, Sarah, thanks very much indeed for sharing your story with us.
No, you're welcome.
It's 98FM's Dublin Talks. Now,
by the way, the security on the Luas, can I just say, are brilliant. They're absolutely...
when they're there. When they're there, that's the problem.
Let me finish. They're like RoboCop. Have you seen the size of these lads? Yeah. But they can't be everywhere.
But it does raise the whole issue of whether or not we need a full, proper transport police.
I know, those lads are fine. They don't take any crap, Adrian.
Yeah, no, I get that, but they're not there. When they weren't on that Luas last night.
Yes, because they can't be everywhere. But I find the security on the Luas are always on the Luas at the wrong time. Like, I use the green line. And they're often on the green line at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, there's not going to be there's very rarely antisocial behaviour on the green line anyway.
Yeah, there is.
No.
Oh, there is. I saw it only the other day.
No, the red line.
Only the other day.
The red line is the troublesome line here. Let's be honest. Yeah, it is. Anyway, there's no point in having Mr. Luas. There's no point in having security on the green line Luas going through Ballally at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because you're not going to get the antisocial scumbags then at that time. It's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And I'm sorry to say it, and I think most people listening would agree with me, it's the red line that's the problematic line. It goes through a lot more problematic parts of Dublin.
This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
98FM.